very beautiful, colorful argumentation. But the final but of it all is that, you know, freedom and slavery for Paul are freedom and slavery to the law. Where freedom and slavery now, starting with Daniel and the Maccabee books, are going to be freedom and slavery to Rome. Which is why, if you could do what Paul did here, you'd survive. Rome would not crucify you. Well, crucified Jesus, we think, but didn't crucify Paul. Well, maybe did. His fate is unclear there. But in any case, the people who follow this survive in the Roman Empire. The rabbinical Judaism that's not interested in fighting Roman power, and Christianity that is following the Pax Romanum, they can survive. So going on here, Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia and answers to the present Jerusalem. So this Jerusalem here, Jewish Jerusalem, that's really Hagar, the Arabs in Sinai. And she is in slavery with her children. But the Jerusalem which is above is free, that's us. Allegorically, that's us. Which is the mother of us all, for it has been written, and then he goes back to Scripture, Isaiah, rejoice, O unfruitful one that does not bear, break forth and cry, you have no birth pains, because more are the children of the deserted ones than of her who was the husband. But brothers, we like Isaac are children of the promise. But as then he who was born according to the flesh persecuted him who was born according to the Spirit, now he's getting into the story of Abraham, Hagar, and Isaac. If you recall, Sarah's upset because she says that she doesn't want her son, Isaac, playing with Hagar's son Ishmael because Ishmael's, plays too rough or something. She doesn't even say that. She just said, I don't want my son playing with the children of the slave woman. She actually shows herself to be not a nice person. And the Old Testament is not trying to portray her as particularly nice. So then Abraham forces Hagar and Ishmael to leave. But the Old Testament is not cruel to Hagar and Ishmael. It's portraying it more or less that these people are more in the right than Sarah, who is taking advantage of Abraham's simple-mindedness, which I don't follow any of these stories anyway, but I'm just telling you that's how the story is being presented. Now he's flipping it. He's saying, oh, okay, he's jumping a step. He's saying, oh, that born according to the flesh, well, that should be Isaac according to the flesh. And no, that's Hagar and Ishmael. Hagar and Ishmael is for him according to the flesh. He persecuted Isaac. That's why Abraham threw him out. This is crazy stuff. But he can get away with it because he's speaking allegorically. And also, people who follow this are just impressed by the beauty of the verbiage and the rhetoric, which is astonishingly creative and extremely agile. So people are like awestruck. Oh my God, this is incredible stuff. But the flipping that goes on is quite amazing too. So then he goes, so supposedly he's saying now, Ishmael persecuted Isaac. According to him, I don't see any indication of that any place. But in any case, Ishmael is very sweet. He doesn't hurt anyone as far as the Old Testament stories go. But that's how he concludes there. And what he's saying is that Jews are persecuting us Christians now. And so, we're like Isaac. We're being persecuted by people of the flesh, people who circumcise themselves. This is crazy stuff. I mean, wild stuff. I mean crazy in terms of not nice. I mean crazy in terms of wild. I mean crazy like a hippie or would call hey, crazy man. Yeah, this is crazy, wild stuff. But, you should really know what it's about. So, but brothers, we like Isaac are children of the promise. Oh, pardon me. Then he goes on to say, but then does not Scripture say, going back to quoting Scripture, throw out the slave women and her son, for the son of the slave woman shall not in any way inherit with the son of the free woman. So then, brothers, we are not children of the slave woman, we are children of the free. How is he children of the free? Only because he doesn't observe Mosaic law. That's how he's children of the free. And so, you see, the accusation back in Acts is totally accurate. He doesn't observe Mosaic law. He teaches people not to observe Mosaic law. In fact, he holds it up to contempt. Now, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying these are the arguments that are going on here. So I just want you to be totally aware that when Paul gets a hold of things in the early history of Christianity, he has flipped the meaning of slavery and freedom. Slavery and freedom, all the documents that we're going to read have to do with freedom from the secular, overpowering, brutal authorities, Greek and Roman. Slavery, in Paul's view, is flipped. I'm a Roman citizen. I like Rome. You people are a bunch of jerks. You're slaves to the law of Moses. That's what your problem is. And you're not even descendants of Sarah. We are. Well, that's like taking someone's whole inheritance and basically usurping it. Well, that's fair enough. That's cool, but don't be surprised if people were really angry at him and wanted to kill him, and that's what the book of Acts shows. They want to kill him. You say, why don't they want to kill James? They don't want to kill James. James is a popular figure. They want to kill someone like Paul because he's saying things that are like this. Okay. Sorry to have gone over that again, but it's really worthwhile when we go back to Daniel. So let's go back to Daniel. I didn't feel that you people ever heard those things really, so then you can think I'm wrong or right, but at least you can weigh it for yourself and decide if I've got any accuracy in the presentation. I've done it really quickly for you. So in chapters 1 and 2, we get a fourth kingdom in chapter 240 that is hard as iron, crushes everything, shatters everything, and absorbs everything, and this is a kingdom that will last forever. That's the first mention of the kingdom of heaven, as I said last time. Okay. Then chapter 3, we get into more problems with Nebuchadnezzar, with Azariah in the furnace. Remember we mentioned Abraham as friend of God, chapter 3:35. Abraham will be friend of God in the letter of James. Abraham will be friend of God in the Damascus document of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is one of the first mentions of Abraham as friend of God. Abraham is friend of God in Islam. Abraham's city, Hebron, is called in Arabic Al-Khalil. When you go to Hebron, which is south of Jerusalem, the Arabs will say, you're going to Al-Khalil. He's friend of God in the Quran, and he's friend of God even in common language in Palestine, Israel at the present time, according to the Arabs. So this is the first mention I know of Abraham as friend of God. It's in the book of Daniel here, and it's in this little episode here about their being in this fire. Okay, well, we did that last time. We don't need to continue there. So here we have this famous thing of their being in the fire and they're not being burned and so on. Chapter 4.